It just seems to get from bad to worse for the Israelis and the Americans because the Kurds have told them that they're not interested in working with them. And instead, they have made an agreement with Iran to protect their borders. If you guys know anything about the Kurds, you will know that they have exceptional skills in mountainous terrain. So it's not looking good for the Americans and the Israelis right now. If they were thinking about putting boots on the ground, they better rethink that option, I think.
Countries are starting to leave Donald Trump's board of peace after he started the war in Iran. Now, as you know, Donald Trump started this board of peace with the initial idea that it would help rebuild Gaza for the Palestinians. Well, now that he started the war in Iran, Indonesia is the first country to say, "We'll see you, Donald. Your board of peace, we're out of your board of peace." Now, they are citing that Donald Trump's war in Iran is going to destabilize the Middle East, and it's taking away focus from the Palestinians, which was the original purpose of the board. Now, this was always destined to be the outcome of Donald Trump's board of peace because it seemed like it was nothing more than a way for him to glorify himself. After all, he put himself in charge from now until the end of time. He made himself in complete control of all the money. He's asking for $10 billion, or he's not even asking, he's taking $10 billion of American taxpayer dollars. And you can expect more countries are probably going to follow suit, as Donald Trump is not a peace president. Instead, he is waging war country after country.
Britain has blocked the United States from using its bases, including RAF Fairford and Diego Garcia, for strikes on Iran. And it's not just Britain. Saudi Arabia told Washington directly that its airspace and territory are off limits. Qatar, Kuwait, the UAE, and Bahrain have all refused to help Trump strike Iran. These are the countries bordering Iran, the ones with the most to gain from neutralizing Tehran's nuclear program. They are the ones most aggressively saying no to Trump. So last June, Trump's attack on Iran worked because it was a one-night operation with B-2s flying from Missouri. But a sustained months-long campaign against Iran, this requires forward bases for rearming and refueling. And every potential host nation told Trump no. The American military can still strike anywhere on Earth, but the American global network of bases that enables American power is rapidly coming to an end, and Trump and the Republicans are fully to blame. More on Substack at Cultural Perspective.
Ring, 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 ring. Hello, this is South Korea here. South Korea, I have a request, more like an order really. I'm gonna need the Patriot missile interceptor battery, the whole system that I gave you. I'm gonna need it to be moved. 감사합니다, my president. Mr. President, thank you for taking such good care of Korea, but we can't give up our patriots. What if we are attacked? Don't worry, you'll be fine. Nobody will attack. I've spoken to she. Now, sorry, I need to hang up because I need to make another call. But I'll send my boys to pick up the Patriot battery very soon. Okay, love you. Bye. Bring, 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 bring. Hello? Yes, is this President Zelensky? How you doing, Volodymyr, my friend? Listen, I'm going to need some of your Interceptor missiles that I sent you very recently. Mr. President, normally I'm the one begging for things from you. No, I'm not begging, I'm demanding, Zelensky. Listen, we're gonna need the...
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great. Now, Trump's situation just got worse. And at this point, this is now embarrassing. It's embarrassing to Mr. Donald Trump. I won't say for the United citizens, but America itself right now is embarrassed. The people that Mr. Donald Trump thought that will side with them, they are opting out. They are opting out because they have seen themselves waste their money, and now they are opting out. In short, these are a group of people that have integrity. But US and Israel doesn't have integrity. So he was trying to seek help from UAE. He was trying to seek help from Indonesia. But guess what? He couldn't get it because all these people say that, you know what? We've played along by you. It is time. We also have a say in this, and we don't support what you're doing. So, Trump situation just gotten worse, and no one is trying even to want to help Mr. Donald Trump, because they know at some point there is a person that can turn his back against its own people. Trust me, how will you trust a person that turns its back against its own citizens? I will trust a person that does that. So all these people are saying that this war is not worth their time, and they are opting out. They are opting out. And you know what this means to Mr. Donald Trump? It means that the allies that he was trying to look, the group of people, all these Gulf countries that would have supported him, ain't no support. They are saying enough is enough. What you've done is enough, and we don't support what you're trying to do. So Trump is left for himself, by himself, and with himself. So brothers and sisters, I think all these other countries are waking up, because China, Russia, they have stated where they stand, and they are asking Iran, don't think twice if you need our support. Same with China. Don't think twice if we need our support, because there is a menace, and the menace are two countries. You know them. I don't want to mention them, right? The menace countries, now the world is looking at them. They have the global eyes, because every decision they make affects everyone. So you think that you want to be allies with everyone, yet the things that you do, the dates that you do is affecting everyone. Even people inside your country, they can't even afford healthcare because you are spending your money somewhere else that doesn't even benefit the American citizens. People are opting out. And I think this began with American citizens themselves. From day one, they opted out. So brothers and sisters, I want you to watch this video, and then I'm going to be back. I'll be sharing my 2 cents in regards to this. So keep watching. I'll be back.
Interceptors for the Middle East. Don't worry, Putin, he's my boy. I talked to him. You'll be okay. Okay, let's leave it there. I kid you not. Here's the headline from the Financial Times today, okay? US to tap Ukraine for Iran interceptors. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth in the US, when asked about potentially running out of ammunition, said they have unlimited stocks of certain kinds, okay? But more revealingly, today, Trump is expecting to meet with US defense companies like Raytheon to see if they can scale up their production of missile interceptors. One source confirmed that anti-ballistic missile interceptors, these are the really expensive ones that are built to try and deal with like hypersonic missiles that at some point in their trajectory can sort of maneuver and sort of try and dodge you, and you're trying to stop it and it's like nope, and it's just a fat headache. That's why your interceptors cost so much, and reports have shown that the Western doctrine is to use 2 to 3 to make sure that the missile is intercepted. So imagine man's firing 1 and other man's is firing 3 to get rid of that 1, and each of the 3 cost way more than the 1. The economics are busted, basically.
I wish I didn't have bad news for you today, but things are spiraling really badly out of control. We have 3 of the wealthiest Arab nations that are now considering pulling out of the U.S. economy, pulling out investments because of the cost of this war that has been waged by Donald Trump. And when I say that they are the foundation of our economy, that if they pull out their investments, it could crash our economy, that is an understatement. And now we have this letter that was just sent to Donald Trump and published for all of us to read by the leading businessman of the United Arab Emirates. His name is Khalaf Hamad Al Habtour. You're going to need to sit down for this as I read this. His Excellency President Donald Trump, a direct question. Who gave you the authority to drag our region into a war with Iran? And on what basis did you make this dangerous decision? Did you calculate the collateral damage before pulling the trigger? And did you consider that the first to suffer from this escalation will be the countries of the region itself? The peoples of this region have the right to ask as well, was this your decision alone, or did it come as a result of pressures from Netanyahu and his government? You have placed the countries of the Gulf Cooperation Council and the Arab countries at the heart of a danger they did not choose. Thank God we are strong and capable of defending ourselves, and we have armies and defenses that protect our homelands, but the question remains, who gave you permission to turn our region into a battlefield? For before the ink has dried on your Board of Peace initiative that you announced in the name of peace and stability, we find ourselves facing a military escalation that endangers our entire region. So where did those initiatives go? And what is the fate of the commitments made in the name of peace? Most of the funding proposed in your initiatives came from the countries of the regions themselves and from Arab Gulf countries that contributed billions of dollars on the basis of supporting stability and development. And these countries have the right to ask today, where did this money go? And are we funding peace initiatives or funding a war that exposes us to danger? More dangerous than that, your decision does not threaten only the peoples of the region, but also reaches the American people whom you promised peace and prosperity. And here they are today, finding themselves in a war funded from their money and taxes, which costs are ranging, according to Institute of Policy Studies, between $40 to $65 billion for direct military operations and could reach $210 billion, including economic impacts and indirect losses if it lasts 4 to 5 weeks. Not to mention the sacrifice of Americans themselves in a war in which they have neither camel nor she-camel, which I take that phrase to mean being on foot. You have even broken your promises not to get involved in wars and to focus only on America and put it at the top of your priorities, as you ordered foreign military interventions during your second term that included 7 countries: Somalia, Iraq, Yemen, Nigeria, Syria, Iran, and Venezuela, in addition to naval operations in the Caribbean and the Pacific Ocean. You directed more than 658 foreign airstrikes in your first year in office, which equals the total number of strikes in Biden's entire term, for which you directed your arrows of criticism for involving the United States in foreign wars. Your Excellency, the President, these numbers have severely reflected on your approval rating with Americans, which have declined since your inauguration for the second term by about 9% in just 400 days. These numbers say something clear. Even within the United States, there is growing concern about being dragged into a new war and about exposing the lives of Americans, their economy, and their future to unnecessary risks. True leadership is not measured by war decisions, but by wisdom, respect for others, and pushing toward achieving peace. And if these initiatives were launched in the name of peace, then we have the right today to demand full transparency and clear accountability. Well, good luck, because we are not getting any of that from the Trump administration, and we never have. And we've been asking, where is our money? Where is our money going? I'm going to step back and give you a final, bigger picture. We have centrist Democrats bought and paid, and every single Republican bought and paid, that are making money because they own stocks in the military-industrial complex and because their campaigns were significantly funded by the same. And when I tell you we must identify and elect more progressives in all of these upcoming Democratic primaries happening in a state near you, I cannot stress it enough. We have to stop the insanity, and we have to do it by voting better, voting differently, vote progressive.
Switzerland has entered the chat. They're now calling the strikes on Iran war crimes and crimes against humanity. Do you know what it takes for famously neutral Switzerland to get involved? I mean, they are still probably holding stolen loot from World War II in their bank vault, but maybe it's because of images like this. That's streets of Iran on fire. That is black smoke covering the city, and black rain is falling on the city, laced with oil from those fires that you saw. Yes, that's considered an environmental disaster, not to mention the strikes on desalination plants. Do you know what those are? They remove salt from water to make it drinkable. And what happens when people don't have enough drinkable water? They can last 2, maybe 3 days before they, well, no longer exist. That is why Switzerland is stepping in and going, hey guys, we're going to break our neutrality just a wee bit and make a statement here that you have gone too far. I want you to think about that. The country who is still holding stolen goods in their bank vaults, now making a statement on what's happening in Iran.
We must learn from history and cannot play Russian roulette with the fate of millions of people. The powers involved in this conflict must immediately cease hostilities and commit to dialogue and diplomacy. And the rest of us must act consistently, defending now the same values that we defend when we talk about Ukraine, Gaza, Venezuela or Greenland. Because the question is not whether or not we are in favor of the Ayatollahs. No one is. Certainly not the Spanish people, and of course not the Spanish government either. The question, rather, is whether or not we are on the side of international law, and therefore of peace.
We're losing this war! So if y'all don't know, Trump has now just declared that we are no longer allies with the UK. One of our biggest allies just gone. And the reason for this was because they sent over 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. And he's just like, Trump tweeted that, we don't need them. We're already winning this war. We already won. We don't need them. Huh? Iran's national security just announced that they have American soldiers captured and that there have been more than 6 casualties of American soldiers. So, I mean, there's even news channels outside of America saying that it's in the thousands. And you guys gotta think about it. There's no way only 6 American soldiers have died when Iran has bombed all the American military bases in the Middle East. No way only 6 died. There's just no way. And a lot of people say that the American news channels are lying to us and are hiding information and, trying to spread propaganda and all that stuff. And they probably are. I'm not doubting it. But the fact that we just broke our allies with our biggest allies is crazy to me. We just broke it just like that. I don't know what's going on with Trump right now. I don't know what he's doing. But he is going to cause chaos in America. The economy is going to shoot down. Inflation is going to go all the way up. Prices are going to go up. Job market's already cooked. It's not looking good for us. But I'm not trying to spread fear. I'm just informing y'all. But besides that, what do y'all think?
This is what our supposed closest ally said about the UK last night. Donald Trump said, "We don't need people that join wars after we've already won." You're our chief diplomat. What's your response to Donald Trump today?
Well, the job of the British Prime Minister is to take decisions in the UK national interest, not in the interests of any other country, but in the UK's national interest. That's what Keir Starmer has done every step of the way, both in terms of the initial decision not to be involved in those initial strikes that took place, and also in the decision to provide defensive support when we see Iranian strikes on partner countries where British citizens are residing. Those are decisions in the UK's national interest. And it won't surprise you that, obviously, we don't agree with President Trump on every issue.
Last, it's France who drew Trump's ire after not only condemning the U.S. strikes as a violation of international law, but then turning instead to China and announcing that the two are going to coordinate a peaceful political solution to this war.
He's being shown polling that this war is like a 90-10 win for him. I flew up to D.C. 3 times in the last month to try to convince Trump not to do this. It didn't work. It happens. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, boy, this is not going to get better. So then I think I'll fly up again and ask him. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is doing it, so I'm going to try to just declare victory and go home. Like you kill 6-year-old cleric, let's just call that a win and then pull back. And so then meantime, he got convinced to denounce me. So I call over there to see, call someone who knows him to see. I said, I'm just going to fly up anyway and tell him this because I think it's so important. And the person says, don't bother because he's being shown polling that this war is like a 90-10 win for him. And I said, I don't know where that polling is coming from. It's like, I guess you could make any kind of poll and he's watching Fox News, which is telling him the same thing. And he's getting fake polling. I guess they're only polling Sean Hannity's viewers or something. And so I'm not sure that there's a sense that this is unpopular.
America is really mistreating its allies in the Gulf. They host their U.S. bases in spite of the pushback from their constituents, from the population. The indigenous populations do not want U.S. bases in those countries. And right now, as these U.S. bases are attacking Iran, a Muslim majority country, and Iran is pushing back, they're attacking back, and America is not protecting their U.S. bases, they're not protecting the native populations of their host countries, they are protecting Israel. If I was a Gulf leader, I would question what is in it for me. Why should I continue to allow these US bases in my countries when there's no benefit? It's a liability for me. And the Gulf countries are big investors in the global economy and specifically in the US economy. So let's talk about that a little bit. Because a billionaire from the Gulf just publicly challenged a push towards war with Iran. He specifically asked Donald Trump a question. He said, "Who gave you the authority to drag our region into war?" And that's a huge deal because powerful business leaders in the Gulf rarely challenge presidents like that. And the message didn't stop there. Reports now say that Gulf countries are now reviewing their investments in America. We're talking about countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait. They control some of the largest sovereign wealth funds on earth. And those funds have trillions of dollars invested in the American economy. So when these countries start reviewing or delaying investments, they're using their economic leverage. It's about time. I want you to think about the moment we're living in right now. The region that controls a fifth of the world's oil and holds trillions invested in the global economy is now warning about the war. And when money, energy, and geopolitics collide, the entire world will feel it.
So Kim Jong-un is finally getting involved. 11 million views because Kim Jong-un said, if Iran asks, we will provide it with missiles against Israel. One missile is enough to erase it. Just one of Kim Jong-un's missiles will completely wipe out Iran. That is what he's claiming. It's actually funny. And as you can see, people are just making jokes like he's telling his servants, check if someone called me fat, please, I need help. But guys, now he's actually going to help Iran fight. So this is another country to basically start the World War III. It is absolutely insane. Like, nobody's axing, nobody's bringing North Korea in. Like, bro, nobody wants to talk to you. And bro's like, you know what, Iran, I'll help you out. Here's a missile. Like, and then now they're gonna attack Kim Jong-un because he's sending the missiles, and then now he's gonna be involved finally. And then he can use all of those nukes and weapons he's been talking about. But anyways, what do y'all think about this? This literally got 11 million views in a day just because people think it's funny, but let's see what happens.
Israeli sources like the Jerusalem Post ask their government, what's the latest dirt you have for us? And the government says, we, the Israelis, are suggesting that the UAE, the Emiratis, took part in airstrikes with us against the Republic of Iran, which we know is very, very bad boy, very evil. And almost immediately, the United Arab Emirates was like, Limada ya kalb, how dare you? How dare you? We would never strike the brother nation of Iran, especially their desalination plant that makes clean drinking water for citizens. Why? Limada, why? Yes, we are known to cooperate with Israel on many, many things. But even we have our limits. I don't know if that's an Arab accent, but we're rolling with it, baby. Guys, the Middle East conflict has caused such a shakeup. I just want you to sort of, take a step back. The administration of the UAE are unhappy and denying claims made by the Israelis. Do you know how bad the situation has to be in the Middle East for the UAE and Israel to have a dent in their relationship? The UAE is well known for being the most powerful, wealthy, apologist or collaborative state, that works with Israel in the region. For better or worse, I'm not hating on them for it, or I'm not loving them for it either, but anyway, trying to stay unbiased here. But now, Israeli senior sources were reported in the last 48 hours by Israeli media, such as the Jerusalem Post, as having worked, Israeli senior sources were reported as saying that the UAE has worked with the US and Israel to attack Iran. The Emiratis are like, hey, don't lie. An Emirati source said, when we do something, we have the courage to announce it, end quote. Oh, you know that meme of that guy is like, oh, he's like, because it's a par, sorry. It's basically a jab at Israel from the Emiratis. I don't know how to say it anymore. It's a jab at them, saying basically, Israel, if you did it, just confess that you did it. Why are you trying to rope me in? You flattened hospitals, bakeries, UN schools, but now you're like, you know, desalination plant. Oh, what happened there? Who did that? Who did that? Why are you pretending, bruv? That's what the Emiratis are hinting at. Now, a senior Emirati specifically approached the Jerusalem Post, who made the claims in the first place, that the Emirates attacked Iran, and the senior Emirati said, quote, "It is not appropriate for what is described as a senior Israeli source to speak on our behalf or spread rumors about the actions of another sovereign state," end quote. The claims and the quick denial look a lot like the early days of the war when Qatar was accused of carrying out strikes on Iran. It made very few headlines because it was very quick. There was accusations that Qatar struck Iran, and the Qatari state immediately was like, no, we promise. Wallah, we did not do that.
You just talked about now the story breaking from President Trump. This absolutely, well, the only way to describe it is the nuclear detonation of the US-UK relationship between the Trump administration and Keir Starmer. This latest Truth Social post from the president, I think, is the most brutal of all aimed at our Prime Minister's way. And it's been, there's been a couple this week, hasn't there? I think this is the fourth one. We started the week with President Trump saying that Keir Starmer was no Winston Churchill. That was in response to Starmer refusing to let the US military use our bases to launch strikes on Iran. Later on in the week, there were reports that President Trump had been calling Keir Starmer a loser to friends at private dinner parties. The president refused to deny that he said that when later quizzed. His response, actually, when he was asked by the New York Post, had you been calling Keir Starmer a loser? He said, well, look, I'll just repeat what I said earlier in the week. He's no Winston Churchill, is he? Then we had Keir Starmer coming out saying that President Trump should come to some sort of deal, some negotiation with the Islamist despot regime in Iran. And less than 24 hours later, without naming Keir Starmer directly, President Trump went on Truth Social, seemingly responding to Starmer by saying, absolutely no deal. Our goal is unconditional surrender. Now, the fourth attack is this post on Truth Social, which I think is absolutely extraordinary. As you just said, it says the UK, our once great ally, maybe the greatest of them all, is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. Well, that's okay, Prime Minister. We don't need them any longer. But we will remember, we don't need people that join wars after we've already won. That is devastating, it is brutal, and you have to say it puts the UK-US relationship at an all-time low, something to a level that we've not seen for many, many years. And by the way, Nigel Farage is at Mar-a-Lago this weekend, the so-called Winter White House in Palm Beach, Florida, where President Trump is right now. Farage was having dinner with members of the Trump administration last night, trying to lobby them on the Chagos issue. I just wonder if he has yet seen the president. Has he seen President Trump? And whether Nigel Farage knows about this post. But you have to say, it is a huge middle finger.
So what you're pretty much telling me is we're about to get our ass kicked in this motherfucker war, right? Okay, figured that. Y'all beat these. So, guess what I just found out? Before I even get into that, the United States of Boo is alone. Let me say this one more time for the people in the back. The United States of Bush is alone, honey. The only backbone that the United States of Bush have is Israel. Because why the United States of Bush not only isolated themselves from NATO, so NATO is not going to help at all. Oh, and on top of that, I don't know why the government is lying to us about how many casualties it is that have fallen slain for the from the army and shit like that. Our army, they keep saying it's only 10 to 12. No, it's not. It's 560. Now back to where I was. We are alone in it. We are so alone and so understaffed to a point where the United States of Bush is asking Ukraine for help. Why the hell are they asking Ukraine fucking help when Ukraine already got their own fucking with Russia? Speaking of Russia, did you know that Russia just got involved? Oh yeah, so Russia is gonna be helping Iran. And guess who else is stepping into this? China. Yup. We're cooked. Russia and China will be supplying Iran. So my question is, when China supplies for Iran, especially when they decide to put boots on the goddamn floor, let me ask y'all this. Y'all seen some of them mother viral as hell fucking videos of them robot fighters, right? Do you think that them mother was only made just to guard the city? Hell the fuck. They was made for war, honey. So to all y'all mother be like, yeah, we finna get ready to fight for this war. Are y'all ready to fight them goddamn robots when they be released? China is helping Iran. China is 10 times more wealthy as far as arms is concerned than the United States of bullshit. Let's not forget, the United States of bullshit is alone. Iran have Russia and China, two of the biggest fucking things ever. Oh my God, we finna get our ass beat.
Trump says that he invited the Iranians to talk, and they replied back saying, there will be no talks with the devil or the great Satan in the month of Ramadan. You've got to love Iran. You've got to love Iran. The sense of humor is incredible.
What we see here is Donald Trump acting, as he always does, as a global chaos generator.
There is no imminent threat. There's no imminent threat. I heard President Trump say yesterday Iran was 2 weeks away from a nuclear bomb, and that's simply untrue. It's wrong. It's false. While I'm delighted to see the death of a dictator who's tens of thousands of his own people, and I'm glad to see Iranian missiles shot out of the sky, and I don't think that's being dragged in. I think that's the right course of action. This didn't need to happen, and it has a big opportunity cost for our other responsibilities around the world.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from whatever you're watching this video from. Right now, Mr. Donald Trump have really worked so hard to create walls instead of bridges. He has really worked hard to divide all these countries instead of connecting these countries. That's what the Americas does, right? But these countries are now saying that, you know what? Nope. We are not supporting the cause of what you are trying to do. We are not going to let you destroy our countries as you've destroyed yours. Because right now everyone is laughing at the United States. Do you think, how did the United States got where it is today? It is because of Mr. Donald Trump. And all those white Americans who voted for Mr. Donald Trump are the mega group who voted for Mr. Donald Trump, who chose to support the cause of what is happening today. Well, now you have a fight of your own, because people, the UAE, the Indonesia, China, Russia, name it all, they don't want anything to do with you, including the UK. They don't want nothing to do with you, because what you're doing, you are wasting their time and wasting their resources. And they're seeing you and they want to opt out, because for the longest time, this is what you've been doing. And you've been doing it to the American citizens. And now look, it is time that now you understand that the world doesn't revolve around you. People can make their own decisions, because American citizens made their own decisions. And they say that we don't want anything to do with you, because you've shown them who you are, and so they don't support your cause. You're a person who doesn't even care about the lives of its own citizens. Tell me, why would you care about those people that you are seeking allyship from? They cannot get it, right? They cannot get it. The countries are saying that we are not bowing to you. We are not respecting you. You think that you're great. No, you are not. And we are here trying to prove you that you are not great. So that's what the United States is trying to like show all these other countries. They're trying to tell them that, hey, I need your support. After that, we'll have this, we'll have this. Man, this is crazy. Somebody say that I have friends who are Kurds and they have all watched as the US time and time again betrayed their people. They aren't falling for that BS again. Yeah, people are not falling for that bullshit because the moment you give the United States a chance or you strike a deal with them, they go against it. They're not joining any allyship with Mr. Donald Trump. And this situation is getting out of hands. As an African American, so I so love this moment in history. This will go down in history as a masterclass in war preparation and a continuation of the law of karma. We all hate bullies. Yeah, American keeps on bullying people, thinking that anytime we could knock any door and, accept friendship because he is a great person. I don't think it works that way. I don't ever thought that it will work for you that way. And right now we are seeing history in the making. We are seeing that part of history that people never thought that will come to happen. But right now we are seeing it happen. Somebody say that Black Americans stay out of this white people's war. This is shit that they do to take from people that are of color. Just as they took the land that you're standing on here in the US, we are the indigenous people of Americas. Somebody say that this is a little bit. How many idiots does it take to stop a rogue president? The jackass is in the glass factory going back wild, tore up the White House, and now is destroying everything across the world. Make it make sense. Impeachment now. Yeah, I told you. Americans themselves already want Mr. Donald Trump out. They don't want anything to do with him. Because what he has proven that he is a person that cannot be trusted. So you cannot be close to somebody that you cannot trust. It has never happened that way, right? Every Gulf state is like we. Our language is Arabic, not French. Who is we? They are asking Mr. Donald Trump that question. So I don't want to say much, because a lot have been said about this. I'm only trying to disseminate this information. But at the end of the day, I'm really happy. I'm really happy that now people are getting to see, all these countries are getting to see Mr. Donald Trump for who he is. At least once in history, this will go down as one of the masterclass times when karma proved that the moment you F around, you will find out. So brothers and sisters, I'm gonna let you see me in the next video, but until then, I'll be back with another video. And please subscribe to the channel, and let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.